Hi, welcome to Anchor Moment Minutes. Today, I have a special guest, Barbara Rayes-Barnett, and she is going to share a very important story today. And we're really going to talk about the importance of every minute of life. So hang on. Hi, Barb.
Hi, Gina. Nice to see you.
Oh, it's always such a joy seeing you, Barb.
Thank you. It's a joy to see you, too. It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day, and it's amazing. It's a very special day. You know, I talk about anchor moments all the time, and some are very little and some are super big. And Barb and I had an anchor moment this week. She's been on my Anchor Moments show before on HSBN, and I asked her if she'd be willing to be on my Anchor Moment Minutes. We talk about just one anchor moment at a time, And she said, sure, Gina. And we both had Saturday open, but we weren't watching the calendar because during this COVID crisis, we're not really going anywhere, so dates don't seem to matter. We're just kind of living life day to day. And Barb, yesterday, she let me know, Gina, oh my goodness, Saturday is my daughter Miriam's birthday. And then today I got on my Facebook memories, all the posts that you've done on that day over the years. We had taped a show on Miriam's birthday 1 year ago today.
Yes.
And I'd like you to share the story of Miriam while we can celebrate her life today, because I know that God knows what day today is, and God knew last week when I invited you. I said, hey, can you do some Anchor Moment Minutes with me, Barb? And you're like, sure. God knew the date. He knew the date. He knew today was Miriam's birthday, and he knew it would be the perfect day to have you share her story of her life and your love and God's love on this day.
God's not done talking yet.
No, he's not.
He never will be silent. And that's the beauty of God. He's always with us. He was there before we were, and he'll be there forever. And when you, as a human, are reaching out for solid love, guess what? God's already there. God's right there.
That's
Amen.
Right.
Well, I am very grateful that you invited me onto the show. And this is a story that is not really about me, although I am in this story because I'm the mama.
That's right.
And obviously, I am now a much older mama because what I'm going to share with you happened 29 years ago.
Okay.
29 years ago, I was pregnant with my second of three children.
Okay.
And something was not going right with the pregnancy. The due dates didn't match up. And I was about 6 months along, and I had a wonderful doctor, Dr. Clinch, and he sent me for a more detailed ultrasound.
Okay.
To try to figure out what was going on, because he just had some questions that he couldn't answer. I went in for the ultrasound, and I'm laying on the table, and a nurse was doing the ultrasound in my doctor's office. It was a more advanced level of ultrasound. And she said, there's the baby's little feet. And I said, oh, cute little toes. And she said, and there's the baby's little hands. And I said, oh, cute little hands. And she said, here's the baby's face, but I can't see the back of the baby's head. And I said, is there something wrong with the machine? And she said, well, that's what we're going to find out. And she looked upset. And I thought maybe I had been rude to her or something. I was horrified, if I had upset her. She left the room. And the doctor came in, and I thought, my gosh, what service. And the doctor was just as friendly as could be and said he was going to take a look And so I laid back on the table, and he started doing the ultrasound.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Why can't the nurse see the back of the baby's head?" And he said, "Because there is no back of the baby's head."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I'm going to send you for another ultrasound, but he said it's pretty clear that your baby has a condition called anencephaly and is missing most of the skull."
Oh,
I couldn't even breathe.
yeah.
I couldn't even breathe. Tears were just coming out of my eyes. And I sat up on the table. I can't describe, it would take me 100 years to describe everything that was going through me at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And the doctor hugged me. He took a hold of my shoulder and he said, "I need you to understand, even if we wanted to, there's nothing we can do about it. We can't do anything about it." And I didn't realize at first he was talking about abortion. Can you imagine, right in the moment when you get this bad news, that abortion would even be a topic? I didn't know that he was pro-life, and he didn't know that I'm pro-life. We didn't know this about each other.
Okay.
And he said, "I'm going to send you for a more detailed ultrasound." And he just really wanted to make sure that my daughter got every moment on this earth that it was possible for her to have. And he sent me to another doctor for another ultrasound, a level 2 ultrasound.
Okay.
This was in 1991. I went by myself to the ultrasound. And the doctor who was doing the ultrasound, we were alone in this little exam room, and he confirmed my daughter's diagnosis that the reason they couldn't see the back of her head is that there were no bones, there was no skull. Her condition called anencephaly, her condition was a condition that basically meant she would not be able to live once she was born. And the difference between the first doctor and the second doctor was night and day. The first doctor hugged me and made sure that I understood that we could do what was best for my child. But the second doctor, and again, I was alone in the room with him,
Mm-hmm.
he rolled his chair in front of the door. The door was closed, and blocked the door and wouldn't let me out. And he said, "You need to understand, you think of this as a baby, but this baby doesn't have what makes us human. This isn't a human child. You need to have an abortion." And he pressured me and pressured me to have an abortion. Well, what he didn't know was that I'm pro-life, and him blocking the door and intimidating me wasn't going to change that I'm a mom, and I'm going to protect my baby, and I'm going to trust in Jesus, and it's all going to work out. It's going to work out in the big picture. Maybe we can't change the diagnosis that our child has, but we can walk with our child through that valley of the shadow of death. We can do that. I carried her to term, and she was born. And the doctor said, "Get a cap on the baby and put her in her mother's arms." And we weren't sure how long she would live. We just weren't sure. But there she was. And she was so beautiful. Such a mysterious little baby. So beautiful and peaceful. And she lived for 10 days. We took her home.
Okay.
She got baptized in the hospital. There was a priest there who was a friend of our family. He was visiting somebody else and heard that I was having a baby and came in to see me. And my brother Sam was there with me. He's an amazing brother.
He
And
is.
he is.
He
And
is. Yeah.
my friend Jeannie was with me. She's an amazing friend. And So they're her godparents, and we weren't sure how long she would live. So Father Charlie baptized her. So right away, she's baptized into our Christian family.
Right there in the hospital?
Right there in the hospital. She's with her godfather, her uncle, and her godmother. And in any case, we took her home. And I had a wonderful nurse from hospice. And I remember one day we discovered that we both loved the same verse in the Bible, Romans 8:28, that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. And that is definitely a big part of the story of Miriam's life. Accept God's love. Accept God's love. Accept God's love. So Miriam, in her short little life, evangelized. And as you were saying before, Gina, her life wasn't really short at all, because while she was on the earth for 10 days, she's in heaven for all eternity. You know how you go along and you're not really aware of your thoughts sometimes, and then all of a sudden you're aware of what you're thinking?
Yeah, that happens to me all the time.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I was driving along, and all of a sudden I realized, oh my gosh, I'm on the freeway and I'm crying. I mean, the tears are like coming down, and I thought I better pull over. And I realized, okay, what I was saying as I was driving along crying was, God, give me back my baby, you kidnapper. How could I talk to my Lord that way? Oh my word, I'm sorry that I said that. But I pulled over and I cried and I cried and I cried. And I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. And I had a prayer vision. And in my vision, I saw Jesus. You don't get prayer visions every day, you know? So when you have one, it's
big. It's an anchor moment. Yeah. Yeah.
I saw Jesus, and he was wearing this like an outer garment, like a cloak.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, do you want to be with your baby? And I said, yes, Lord, I want to be with my baby. And he opened up that outer cloak, and I saw inside was his heart. And he said, then come in here, because this is where she lives.
Oh.
Miriam's life is a
So
story of
beautiful.
peace. It's a story of peace. Yes, a story of beauty. It's God's story expressed through her life.
Wow. I just want to thank you so much, Barb, for sharing your story of Miriam's beautiful time here with you.
Happy birthday, Miriam. And
yeah,
thank you,
happy birthday, Miriam. And I look forward to seeing you one day in heaven.
God bless you, Gina. Thank you.
Yeah, God bless you too. And God bless everybody who has watched this show today. Hang on to your anchor moments. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. Please click to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when we post new Anchor Moments videos.